What's up, guys? Scoob here from Dirt Soldiers MX and the Motocross Training Academy, back for another Fundamental Friday, where we give you fundamental techniques of motor control that you can take out to the motocross track and apply these techniques on the weekend and see how they improve your riding skills, okay? When you learn these techniques, when I give you these videos and you see them, take them out this weekend and practice them. Slow down a little bit and practice this stuff, and you will see amazing results, I promise you, okay? What we're going to talk about today is, and you see in the title, should I stand or should I sit now? Kind of reminded me of that, what was that band called that sang, should I stay or should I go now? Why am I forgetting their name? But anyhow, I kind of based that title off of that song, okay? So here's what we're going to look at. Where to stand, where to sit going in the corners, and how long should I stay standing. The rule of thumb is stay standing longer going in the corners, okay? I'm going to explain that to you right now in this fundamental. Let's look at this video. Let me see. Hold on one second. Hopefully you guys can see the video. There we go. We're going to play this. We're going to watch Tomac coming through here. Let me turn down the volume. Oh, no, let me see here. Let me turn down the volume here a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. So we see Tomac coming into this corner, okay? Boom, we pause it. Did you actually hear that break? Did you hear him break? You could actually hear him start to break, okay? Now watch. Let's go back. Listen. You know exactly when he breaks. Listen. Hear it right there? Okay, let's bring it back a hair. Right there. Okay, now what Tomac's doing coming into this corner, look at the lean angle he's in already. He is standing. The rule of thumb here is stand longer going into corners. Where most amateurs make a mistake is they sit down too early. And when you sit down too early, the only thing you can do, let's move this forward once. See, there it goes Tomac to seated. The only way to compensate for the braking coming into that corner is to use your upper body and come backwards from the waist up. From here is, if you go under hard braking back here and sit down too early, whoops, let me get it going here a little bit. Let's actually look at that real quick. Look at Moseman. Actually, let's jump it up. Okay, 1 second. Sorry about that. So if Tomac was to land right here and go to seated, boom, he went seated right there. The only thing he could do, he would, under this braking, you just started braking, he would have to take this upper body really far back, because that's the new center of balance. And that's how too much force is coming forward. And the only way to compensate for it, that force going forward, is to bring this upper body back, okay? Now, the problem with that is, here's what happens. You can't throw as good lean angles. You can throw better lean angles from standing. Seated, there's gonna be a lot of breaker bumps coming into this corner, okay? Everyone's braking. You can hear Tomac braking right here. It starts to create these breaker bumps, and it gets rough coming into these corners. Do you think you can take the abuse better from standing or seated? A lot better from standing. You have your whole body, your ankle joints, your knee joints, your hip joints, your back to take that abuse when you're standing. And you can move more freely to the back of the bike, like you see Tomac doing right here, when standing. Plus, you can also throw, you can pre-set up lean angles. You can start to throw a lean angle because you're standing. You have more of your body, your foot on the ball of the foot to push. So he's throwing a lean angle to the left here to put pressure down through his left foot peg, through his left palm of his hand, and throw this lean angle. Plus, he can get to the back of the bike now. Instead of getting to the back of the bike seated and using his upper body just to go back, and all the abuse comes up through the rear shock into his butt and right into his back and beats the living crap out of him, right? He can now move here like you see him right here, and he can weight the back of the bike. It's not going to allow the suspension to drive into his butt as hard, and it's not going to allow it to rebound as hard. The braking you see him doing here is actually helping with that. He's what we call rear brake drag, okay? He's just dragging this rear brake to put pressure on the rear shock and to keep it down over these breaker bumps. I hope you guys see this. A lot of people sit down way too early. You can actually use these breaker bumps as a guide to when you go to seated. So if you come in and you got like 3 or 4 breaker bumps, you can you can hit them breaker bumps. It's under feel. The last one, boom, you see it. You're gonna see it too. You got to look at it, visualize it, know where it's at, and then you're gonna feel it, and it's gonna get real smooth after that, and go right into seated right after that. Okay. So let's look at it. Boom. That's what Tomac does. He goes to seated. Now he's ready to go. He already had his lean angle set, so you don't have to throw much more of a lean angle from seated. It was already there. He just had to go down to the seated. Now what he wants to do now is just match throttle with that lean angle. So he's coming in. Watch. To keep that lean angle, break it, boom, into lean angle, start to twist the throttle on it. Don't have to be crazy, but this is what's going to keep the bike leaned over, not fall over or stand up, with smooth delivery of throttle. And man, he's going to make this really smooth. This is how we corner bikes. We don't steer them by turning this front wheel. We steer them and get through these corners faster and tighter by these lean angles. I'm getting off track there a little bit, but let's just jump ahead and see if we see any more people here. So what he's basically doing there is he's anticipating his braking coming in by standing, has better control standing. He can get to the back of the bike better. Don't abuse him so much. The breaker bumps, he can control the back of the suspension better. And what he does exiting out right here is what we call anticipate the power. He gets in front of it. Watch. Boom. See how he went forward there as he really drove hard? Let's go back and watch again. Standing. He does have some braking, seated. Boom. Head forward, looking to where he wants to go. See how he looks up and looks out? Boom. And then right there, look at that. That's what you call anticipating your power. You going forward with your bike, attacking with your bike, not your upper body going backwards and your bike going forwards under throttle, and now you're fighting the bike, okay? I'm throwing in some extra tips here. It's really about the standing and the seated. So let's get back here a minute. Okay, hold on. There we go. I hope you guys are seeing this. I hope this is working. This is the first time I ever screen shared, so I hope it's working. All right, let's keep going. So we can see here, there we go again. Look at this nice standing position. Attack from the standing position, okay? Let's see if he goes seated. Sometimes you don't even have to go seated. Nope, didn't even go seated. See that? See how he, see what happened there? Did you see that bump in the track that kind of pushed him down? You able to take that better standing or seated? Standing. It's probably why he stayed standing. Let's watch. Boom, watch it right here. Okay, standing. This is good. I have a student named Jason Heffner who does this all the time. He stands really long, and it's nothing wrong with it, okay? There's actually nothing wrong with going to seated. Well, let me rephrase that. If you do go to seated early, I don't want you to, and that's not what I teach. And there's actually some people that teach to do that, but hopefully you're seeing in this Fundamental Friday that for the reasons why you want to stay standing longer entering a corner. But if you do happen to go seated early, what you're going to have to do now is you are not going to have your body, all of your body, ankle joints, knee joints, hip joints, back, shoulders, head, everything to control that bike as well. So now you're going to have to go to throttle. You're going to have to use throttle now to control yourself over them breaker bumps or anything that's rough if you go seated early, okay? And you have to do it through braps. We can't start applying crazy throttle because we're not, initiated into the apex of our turn to start to drive out through our exit decks. So we're back in here, right behind where he's at here, and you got to use these brap techniques then if you're seated. Okay, and that will increase no speed, only direction and control. But I'm telling you, you're way, way better off to stay standing until your last breaker bump or to almost the apex of your turn. And actually almost to where you're with the rear brake, you're going to drag it very lightly, not lock up the rear wheel, almost to the apex, and then seated. And it's one smooth transition down. So let's watch here. I got off track of what we were watching there for a second. So let's watch him real quick here and watch how he stays standing the whole time. And he hits a bump in here. Watch him. Watch his body dip down. Boom, right there. Did you see it? Stay standing there. Good. Let's keep watching. See if we can catch some more. Okay, they're standing. Look at this. Nice. There's a standing, back of the bike. He moves his hips. Now, here's the other thing that happens. When we're standing, we can now move our hips to the back of the bike under braking. You can see he's braking. Bend down with our waist, keep our head going down towards the handlebar mounts, what keeps us in the attack position, and now allows our hips in the back of the bike to flow with the bike. Look how he starts to get a skid here, what we call a controlled slide. And his lean angle, look, his lean angle set up. He's already set his lean angle up. So much better from standing to do this. What could you do if you were seated right here? Not a whole heck of a lot, okay? You can pull it off. You're going to have to force the bike a little more from seated to get the lean angle. You won't feel as comfortable sliding like you've seen him doing here. And you're going to, if you're braking right here, here's the big one. You are going to have to take this upper body, if he's seated, and go back to find the new center of balance under that braking. And you're going to take all kinds of abuse up through your butt, into your back, and you're going to be hurting the next day taking a lot of ibuprofen. I promise you. Let's watch this again. I like this one. Watch. Boom, there it is. Look at that slide, getting lean angle. Sweet. Boom, and there's this transition to seated. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, what most people do is, this is a good one. I didn't catch this one first. This is a good one to analyze. What most people do here is they go to seated back in here, okay? Sometimes it's not even going to be rough. Sometimes them breaker bumps might not even show up, okay? But you're better off to stay standing almost to the apex. The pros are doing this. See, I found pro practice here at Fox Raceway. They're doing this for a reason. They're doing it because it works. They're doing it because it's the ultimate moto control. They're doing it because it's the best way to increase speed, flow, confidence, control, and haul them out on a dirt bike, you know. So let's watch it again. There we go. Standing. Hauling the mount. He's on the gas hard. Boom. There goes his braking right there. Movement to the back of the bike. He let off throttle. See, as he let off throttle to braking. Hips go to the back of the bike. Head stays forward at the handlebar mounts. He's got his, he can throw his lean angle now from putting weight on that inside, put a little pressure to start his lean angle from that inside foot, palm of the hand here a little bit. The speed and momentum's now put him in a slide, a controlled slide a little bit to set up for his corner. Now he's using rear brake to drag to keep the suspension down, not bounce back up and hit him, and not just even pop off the ground. If this wheel comes off the ground, it don't matter how much you're braking. And then if you're hard on this front, you can see him pulling his front, you're going to endo more likely, okay? Way better control here. And then he just lets it come in. There's some breaker bumps. See them breaker bumps? Boom, boom, boom. Controlled them like they were nothing. Still on brakes. Look at his foot. Still on brakes. See that? Look, he even transitioned to seated and still stayed on the brakes. Okay, I hope you guys caught that. Here's a great teaching point right here. If you're gonna transition to seated, okay, he was done. You don't have to be done braking to go to seated. He still wanted to brake a little bit. Okay, he still needed to brake a little bit. He still wanted to keep control with a rear brake drag. Take notice that this back wheel is not locking up. Watch. No lock up. No lock up. He's on brakes the whole time. The whole time. Let's watch it again. Right there starts braking. Boom, down. Look, he's still braking. Still dragging that rear brake. The rear brake is for control. It's for you drag it. Okay, you do not hammer what we call rear brake mashers. And he's braking right to the apex. Watch. Boom, right to his throttle. Hammers to his throttle. Great view here of this. So he's back of the bike, stays standing longer. Now, what I was getting to and I wanted to show you guys is he transitions to seated. And what most people do, they think when they transition to seated, they should leave off the brakes. Not always. Not the case all the time. And when you do transition to seated, if you're still braking, here's what's got to happen. You got to lift the foot off the foot peg, the back of the heel. You're going to be on the arch now. See how he's on the arch? You're going to be on your arches. You know I teach ball of the feet, but when you're braking, you have to go to your arch to brake. Now you got to come off your arch like this. Exactly. Watch. Boom. Just like that. And now your rear brake is actually almost like your foot peg. And boy, if you don't think you better learn rear brake drag, and you better be precise with it. If you're actually having the whole foot on the brake pedal, you better learn rear brake drag. It's very important. And you see how these guys use it right up to apexes a lot of the times. A lot of people, I'm getting way off of my standing thing here, but boy, I'm going off on a tangent here. And I hope it's helping you guys. But most people brake way too hard, too heavy, too early. Braking early is not a bad thing. That's good if you're doing it correctly and you're timing it to take it right up to your apex. What you see him doing, boom, right off that thing, right to the ball of the foot, times throttle perfect to drive himself out of there. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy this Fundamental Friday. I hope this helps a lot what you're seeing here. I'm just going to jump back over here quick. Let me see. So, yeah, so this basic breakdown is standing, where to stand. You want to stand longer coming into the corner to throw better lean angles, to control the bike better, to not take so much abuse up through your butt and into your back if you sit down too early, to control the suspension better, to throw better lean angles, okay? So when you get out to practice this weekend, this is what I want you to work on. If you notice yourself sitting down like about right here, you're wrong, okay? I mean, you're not completely wrong, but boy, you're not going to get to the speed you want to get to, and you're not going to have breakthroughs. And if you do sit down right here, you better start adding throttle a little bit to get yourselves through some rough stuff here through braps, okay? So these are the fundamental breakdowns. Stay standing longer, standing into the apex. Bend at the waist a little bit. That'll drag your hips and hinge your hips to the back of the bike, which is now going to put you in a new center of balance for this braking. It's going to put weight on the back of this, at the back of this bike. If you're hitting a bunch of rough stuff, use your breaker bump as a guide, your last one, then to go to seated. And man, you're going to take the abuse, throw better lean angles, this whole 9 yards doing it this way. So hope this helps, guys. Hey, back, missed Fundamental Friday last weekend, back this weekend, back this Friday, be back next Friday. So I appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you so much. Got a school coming up, a two-day school here at my private training facility in at Dirt Soldiers Motocross Training Academy here in Loretto, PA. If you guys are interested in that, let me see here real quick. I can throw it in the comments section. You guys can get signed up for that. We just $50 deposit. We're only taking 12 students. So let me get that for you real quick. And so get yourself signed up. You'll learn all these techniques. We're going to do 2 days, the 8 fundamental techniques. The second day, we're going to do the more advanced techniques. You'll learn this and a whole heck of a lot more. I promise you that. That will really help you. We're also running a program right now. I'll get that to you in 1 second. Hold on. Let me get this link. I should have had these links ready. I'm sorry. But here we go. I'll get it for you in the comment section here real quick. So here's the first one. So if you're interested in the 2-day school here at my place in Loretto, PA, we just ask for a $50 deposit, mandatory required $50 deposit. You can hit that link there and get yourself signed up for that school. Also running right now an online training, if you're interested in that, where I'm giving away 2 days of training with me, one-on-one personal training, or 4 days of one-on-one personal training. And these can be broken up. You can buy these if you, even if you, you know, I have a lot of students in Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. If you guys are interested in this, how it's going to work is you can purchase this training. And if you get this training, I'm going to honor it for you when I come down. I come down many times to Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, you know, even probably a couple more times this summer. If not this summer, definitely I can't train here in Pennsylvania in October, November, December, January. I'll be down and I will honor these purchases of this program here. 2 days or 1 day. And what's beautiful about this is I'm going to also throw in a whole bunch of extra stuff with this, bonuses, full lifetime access into the Motocross Training Academy, lifetime access where you can get all my training techniques, building you up through the steps for the 8 fundamental techniques, the master of the 5 controls. And then you can, you'll have that for life. You can study it. And then it goes into corners, jumping techniques, whoops, ruts, corners, rutted corners, flat corners, the whole 9 yards. You'll get all that plus 3 moto breakdowns, which are awesome. I mean, you just need to get somebody to film you at the track. You send a video to me, and I will actually coach over it, just like I kind of am doing right here over this pro practice video we're doing on this Facebook Live right here. So, and a couple other bonuses there. You guys can check it out. Here, I'll give you the link real quick. So here we go. And there's that link there if you're interested. And there that is. All right, great. So